Good morning, this is your AI host, Jay. I'm here with the automatically generated, Journato, morning headlines on August 11, 2023. Georgia DA Fani Willis tells staff to ignore Trump's derogatory and false attacks. The Independent, DA Fani Willis responds to racist and sexist Trump attack ad. MSNBC, harassment of mother and daughter poll workers could form part of Trump indictment. The Independent, Trump's legal drama grows by the day. CNN, fact check, Donald Trump's misleading attack ad on Fani Willis gang member, relationship, and crime. Kremlin aide rewrites Russian history for a society at war. Reuters, Putin saved civilization by invading Ukraine, new school textbook claims. The Telegraph, Russian schoolbook aims to justify Ukraine war, BBC News. BBC News, Russia's new schoolbook aims to justify war on Ukraine. BBC, Kremlin aide rewrites history for a Russia at war. Return of El Niño raises risk of hunger, drought and malaria, scientists warn. Ukraine war, H has got something on Putin, Belarus emboldened by Wagner presence. Georgia doctor decapitated baby using excessive force in delivery. BBC, couple sue doctor after newborn baby decapitated during delivery. The Independent, Georgia, mum Jessica Ross sues hospital after her baby was decapitated during childbirth. Metro.co.uk, Georgia mom Jessica Ross, whose baby was decapitated during birth, claims doctor failed to tell her, and says. Daily Mail, doctors decapitated my baby during childbirth before medics propped up his head to cover their tracks. Jack Smith uses Trump lawyers' statements against him in latest election case filing. Special counsel requests January 2024 trial in January 6 case, latest. The Independent, Trump trial on 2020 election charges should be January 2, 2024, DOJ says. Bloomberg, prosecutors seek January 2 trial date for Donald Trump in his 2020 election conspiracy case. Co-founder of Russian tech giant Yandex condemns barbaric war. The Guardian, Yandex founder slams Russia's barbaric war in Ukraine. BBC, Yandex co-founder condemns barbaric war in Ukraine. Financial Times, founder of Russia's Google attacks Kremlin's barbaric war on Ukraine. The Telegraph, Yandex co-founder Arkady Volozh condemns barbaric war in Ukraine. Ukraine says Saudi talks were breakthrough, Kyiv has more to offer Africa than Russia. Reuters, they're gossiping without us. Saudi-hosted peace summit underscores Kremlin's diplomatic dilemma. The Moscow Times, Russia angry at being left out of peace talks where Ukraine gained allies. Business Insider, chasing consensus, the Hindu editorial on Jeddah conference and ending the Ukraine-Russia conflict. The Hindu, Russia says Ukraine settlement only possible if Kyiv stops hostilities, terrorist attacks. Fourth suspect charged with assault in Alabama riverfront brawl as she turns self in. The Independent, the Montgomery Brawl song captures the music industry's angst. Bloomberg, shocked by the Montgomery Brawl video. Perhaps you're lucky. The Independent, the Alabama boat brawl video, black self-defense, and America's long legacy of racial violence. Owners of LGBT Swatch watches could be jailed for 3 years in Malaysia. The Guardian, Malaysia bans Swatch LGBT products including watches. Sky News, Malaysia makes owning an LGBTQ+ Swatch punishable by up to 3 years in jail. The Independent, wear a rainbow Swatch watch in Malaysia and you could face 3 years in jail. CNN, Malaysia warns owners of LGBTQ-themed Swatch watches could face jail time. Fossil of 41-meter-old miniature whale discovered in Egypt. The Guardian, Egypt dig unearths 41-million-year-old whale in desert. The Times of Israel, fossil from tiny whale, 41 million years old, discovered in Egypt. CBS News, Egypt dig unearths 41-million-year-old whale in desert. Al Monitor, pharaoh of a whale, smallest ever king tut fossil found in Egypt. Ukraine announces humanitarian corridor for ships stuck in Black Sea ports. Reuters, Russia-Ukraine war live. Russia says it downed 11 Ukrainian drones near Crimea, 2 headed to Moscow. WION, Russian drone strike destroys oil depot in west of Ukraine. The Telegraph, Russia faces great dilemma as Ukraine puts Moscow on the defensive. Al Jazeera English, Ukraine Navy designates temporary Black Sea corridors for trade vessels. Thursday briefing, inside South America's summit to save the Amazon. The Guardian, Brazil's summit lacks ambition. Do Amazon leaders see the deforestation for the trees? France 24. France 24 English, Amazon summit calls on developed nations to fulfill climate funding deals. Al Jazeera English, The Guardian view on the Amazon summit. Rich nations must now step up. The Guardian, African and Asian rainforest nations join Amazon summit to discuss preservation. Ecuador politician murders suspects are Colombian, police say. BBC, US sending FBI to Ecuador to help hunt for assassins of presidential candidate. The Telegraph, candidate in Ecuador's presidential election Fernando Villavicencio shot dead. BBC, The Irish Times view on the assassination of a presidential candidate in Ecuador, further evidence of a descent into chaos. The Irish Times. The Irish Times, Ecuador must safeguard human rights amidst pre-electoral violence. Ukraine forces have retaken land near Bakhmut from Russia, Kyiv says. Niger coup, West Africa nations to assemble standby force. BBC, Niger coup, why do so many want France out and Russia in? Guardian News, Niger's coup leader General Chiani, the ex-UN peacekeeper who seized power. BBC, Niger Republic, A Word of Caution, by Femi Fani-Kayode. Premium Times, Niger growing humanitarian crisis. Sanctions hit those in need of aid amid rising food prices. Death toll in Maui fires jumps to 53, status of blazes unchanged. The Independent, Hawaii fires, maps and images reveal Maui devastation. BBC, Maui wildfires, climate change is wrecking former havens. Bloomberg, Maui fire death toll reaches 53 and could go higher as blazes continue. The Independent, Maui fires, survivors describe harrowing escapes from the flames. This was all for the news. Thanks for listening. Please do not forget to like and subscribe.